I don't know why it's
All right.
frozen.
Hey guys, welcome to the live. I'm so excited to have our good friends Brian and Michelle back, and so excited to hear what's been going on because now these two have broken the six-figure barrier for their real estate investing. I mean, if I was there, I would be coming over with donuts and cake and everything to celebrate. How does it feel?
It's a little surreal, honestly,
Yeah.
and it happened so quick that it was sort of mind blowing. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Well,
it doesn't feel like, yeah.
When did you break that barrier?
So let's see. I think in July is when we did our first couple of deals, right? And then so by July,
I guess
August, September. So September,
yeah.
beginning of October, late September, we broke 115K in assignment fees. That's crazy.
I remember sitting in my office working on some real estate stuff, and he came in and said, "Hey babe, guess what?" And I was like, "What?" And he said, "We just broke six figures." And I was just like, "What?"
Yeah.
Be disbelief. I'd be like, what? Are you kidding me? I mean, that's just amazing. And you guys did it in, what was that, 4 months then? 4 or 5?
Yeah, about 4 months, I think, is where we were at. And we got a couple in a pipeline right now. And, you know, the thing is, too, is like we're both full-time employees. I'm active duty military. You know,
I've got my real estate business is still booming.
So I can only imagine what we would have been able to accomplish, you know, or what we will be able to accomplish when we get to the point where we can do this full-time. We love it. It's so much fun.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, you guys, this is amazing. Hello, everyone. Please ask your questions for Brian and Michelle. They're amazing. And we're just talking about how they just hit the 6K barrier in their business. And I actually want to ask you, Michelle, as a real estate agent, I've been hearing the vocab word wholesaling happening more, which is where the real estate, do you guys give them the option to list or to do a cash offer? Is that what you guys usually do?
Yes, and that's where you don't have to have a real estate license for sure to do the wholesaling bit, but having my real estate license and access to the MLS, it does give me the ability to be able to do a market analysis and kind of tell them, you know, look, this is where you would be if you did this much work to the house, because maybe, you know, a lot of the houses that we buy aren't move-in ready like most houses on the market. They're houses that need some work. So it's going to take some sweat equity and a little bit of an investment. And a lot of people don't want to mess with that. They would, even after I tell them, you know, look, if you could put this much into it, get the property fixed up, you know, we could list it and possibly sell it for this value. And then, or Brian and I could offer you this much cash and we could close, you know, in a week. And most of the time we've had them just go ahead and list with or sell to us instead of listing it because they don't want to have to wait. Different circumstances apply to different people, but it just seems like if you give them the option, a lot of times they start looking at their bottom dollar and the timeline and whatever works best for their situation.
And it's neat to be able to give them an option because, like, I love to give people money, you know, so it's great too. And it's like, well, you know, maybe what they need to get out of it doesn't really fit our plan, but we can just take a few minutes and tell them, look, do this, this, and this, talk to this contractor, see what it's going to cost you. And we just did that with a house, actually. And, you know, they were able to list it for a lot more than they thought that they could. And then, you know, we didn't take advantage of anybody and we still get to make a little bit of money off of it.
Yeah.
I mean, that works well for your referrals too, because then, Michelle, you can, I know that's all about referrals in real estate agency type land. And I think that's amazing. So, all right, we already have a question here, but I already have my questions on deck here too. So Chris wants to know, are you skip tracing and cold calling, or are you sending postcards or combinations of both?
So we're doing a combination, right? I mean, we're doing some cold calling, all the skip
Sorry
tracing.
about the hammer sound back there, guys. We've got people working on our house. And they're running late, so like they need to get our house finished, you know. But, yeah, so we are doing a combination, right? So our primary source of marketing is mail out campaigns. We have done some skip tracing. When we get some more systems in place, we want to do a lot more cold calling. And now with the new list feature that DealMachine's got, like, that's great because it's so easy. It's so easy to build a comprehensive list.
Yeah.
And then having that, turned into phone numbers, and then having somebody, just sit there and dial for dollars, is something in our near future. But right now we're pretty much, we're primarily mail outs unless it's something like we need to get on this property, like right now. And then we'll pay the, extra couple of cents to get their phone number and start trying to call them up with them.
I love it. Oh my gosh, I love it so much. Danielle, we have a lot of congrats, so I want to make sure you see those.
Thank you, Daniela.
Right on, girl.
And then Omar, so cool. George, new wholesaler. Great job. Keep it up.
Hey, look,
You
just
as well.
number one trick is don't quit, man.
That's right.
Don't quit.
Even if it's discouraging, just keep hanging in there, because everything that you're doing right now, when you don't see the results right away, I promise it's coming. Just like with anything, you just keep with it. Just keep doing it.
Yeah.
It's going to turn out results, and it's going to turn out results fast. When it starts, it just starts snowballing. Wouldn't you say?
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely been some times where we're like, man, we don't have anything going on right now. We just sold all of our inventory. What do we do? And then, we'll talk about it, pray about it, whatever you want to call it. And then, the next couple of days, we got 2 more, 3 more that we just bought.
Somebody calls.
Oh,
yeah, it's pretty amazing how it all works out.
you guys, this is just so crazy to me. Like, just how, I mean, amazing, not crazy, but like so amazing how you guys are like, oh yeah, we have a couple more in the pipeline just there. And you both are working full-time jobs on top of this. And it's all about like you said, the consistency. Do you know kind of how many postcards you're sending out before like you get most of these calls?
Well, we do the different touch points. So that's the key. You're not going to get a lot of calls on that first postcard, but when they get that third postcard, I think we have how many touch points now? 11?
11 or 12. So what we did is, so there's some people that are just dying to get rid of something. And so that first postcard they get, and they're like, oh my God, somebody's finally going to help me get rid of this problem that I've got.
Right.
For instance, we just started property, working on getting under contract, beautiful property, half-acre lot, great neighborhood. And we'll get it for a great price. But usually it's that second, third, fifth, seventh, So what we started doing, though, just to kind of, because at this point we got so many mailers going out, and we wanted to touch for a longer period of time without really increasing our marketing costs. So we've got one going out immediately, another one going out in 21 days. I think there might be a third one, and they're all different, going out in another 21 days, which we got that from one of your videos, at least. So well played there. And then after that, what we started doing is every 6 weeks or 8 weeks.
6 weeks.
They get another one, and that lasts for a year. So we're actually touching them for an entire year. And we've recently talked about like sending people Christmas cards too.
Because it may be that they get our postcards and they kind of chunk it. Then they get another one and they may chunk it. The third one, they're going to hang it on the fridge because they're going to think, maybe I should think about this. And then by that fourth or fifth one, they're usually calling us. And it may not be that they're ready to do anything right then, but they have your contact information. And when they are ready, they're going to think of you first.
Absolutely.
So,
I mean, the Christmas card idea is genius, because that'll be something that they may think it's like from a family member or something like that. And they'll end up opening it, which you will become like their family member, because you guys are just so sweet. I'm sure you make everyone feel a part of something like a safe place, because they're so vulnerable. Like,
right.
We try to, and we genuinely I grew up in some pretty suspect areas coming up, moved around a lot. And when my father passed away when I was 16, so, there were a couple of years where it was really rough on me, because my mother was a great person, but she wasn't able, her and I didn't have a relationship at that time. So I was emancipated by the state, and I was on my own. And so, I know what it's like to see a neighborhood go downhill because, buildings aren't being taken care of, and then the riffraff moves in. So for one of the areas it's really close to us, it's right down the road from us. We've bought, I want to say 4, 5, 6 properties out there now that are now being rehabilitated, and they're being fixed. And that nice. Whole neighborhood is coming up now. And it's really amazing to see, like, when you get 3, 4 houses on the same block and you get them sold to people that are going to fix them up, you fix them up yourself. And like all the neighbors are coming out to meet you and say, hey, thanks for cleaning up that dump. That used to be a drug house, or that used to be, where these people hung out or whatever. And they're like, thank you. You're a blessing. We've been praying for somebody to come and do what you're doing. And oh, by the way, Sally Mae down the road's got another one that she wants to sell. So
it feeds into the next one. Cool. And people, that's just cool. Word of mouth, when people see the results and they see what we're doing, and we follow up with the ones that we've bought from. So not just sending postcards or not Christmas cards to prospective clients, but also sending postcards or Christmas cards back to the people that we've already worked with to tell them, hey, thanks for letting us help you, get out of that situation, or for trusting us. And, we want you to have a Merry Christmas. And of course, if you have any other properties, or if you know somebody else that has something, you've got to put the tagline in there.
Yeah.
But
that is really you have to.
Yeah.
You're still here to help, and you still are running a business too. So it's like, well, you never know who someone knows. And it sounds like, are you guys still just staying in pretty close to home then for like where you're driving, or what? Oh, no. Please tell me more.
Yeah, we went a little nuts, actually. So we are currently operating
in a good way.
Yeah, we're operating in 5 different states now.
What?
Yeah, and maybe a 6th starting next month. So we've been getting a lot of response from friends or family, and they're like, hey, what they see the changes that we're making, and they're responding well to it, and they want to better their station in life, and they're like, hey, what are you doing? So we're trying to share it with them. And I've got a niece our niece in Alabama is driving for us. She's already found a deal or two.
One in Florida.
We got a niece in Florida. Her and her future husband are driving down there, and I think they've added like 300 or 400 properties in the last week, which is insane.
Wow.
We've got a couple out in Virginia near the Navy base out there that we were mentoring. So they're driving for dollars, and they're working on their first deal, which turned out to be 4 properties owned by the same person that we're working on. Yeah, and then we got our buddy up in Connecticut, and I got another one out in Texas who's kind of on the fence about what he wants to do, but that's on him, man. You can lead a horse to water, but.
Oh my gosh. So are you just like walking them through the process? Like, how do you manage that then?
So with some of them, some of them we're paying, and then we're also going to give them a bonus when it closes, just because they're in a position where like they need some money now kind of situation. And then some others are working on straight commission.
Like my parents, they don't want us to pay them mileage. They enjoy going out, and they'll, like I said, when they go to doctor's appointments, they'll take a extra hour or 2 to drive around and add properties. And they know that whenever one of the deals close, we're going to give them a certain percentage. So
they're in a market here in like Central North Carolina that is just on fire right now. So we
very desirable.
We really expect great things from where they're working. And then we're starting our lists. I think we've done about 3
Love
so far.
that option too, by the way. That was a great addition to our marketing plan.
Yeah, it really was, because we're starting to find now that like we're running out of, we still drive for dollars ourselves because we love it, but it's like, date night, let's grab a bag of food and let's go drive around, and we just get to talk and hang out, which is great. You know, some one-on-one time is, you know, necessary.
Because remember, we do have 4 kids. So.
Right. So you need like mom and dad time, just like
yeah, dig it. But we are finding that now that the business is much busier and there's much more phone calls coming in, and you know, there's a lot. Yeah, so we're running out of time to drive for dollars, and so it's nice actually having dedicated drivers that are doing well. And then, you know, being able to build a list to mail out to without having to go to an outside source is great. And I think the reason I like that the most, because there's plenty of places out there you can do that from, but it's just, I really love the customer service that you guys provide. You know, I love being a part of the DealMachine family. You know, and this is where like we got our start, and where we, you know, this is what helped us make our business what it is now. So it's neat being able to do it all in house rather than be bouncing all over the place, you know?
Yeah. Well, I don't mean to brag, but we're going to make it even better for y'all, because we're going to be adding so many new things that will be helping. We want to be that like one-stop place, because it is so overwhelming as you enter in the real estate industry, how many software systems you could go through. And
there's so many shysters out there too that are like, oh, you know, we'll sell you 10 leads for $3,000. Thanks. You know, I mean, everybody's gonna have a mentor. Ours were very good to us, but what they did is they walked us through deals, and because they had an interest in the deal, they got a percentage of the deal, and that's exactly how we mentor our people. Is like, look, if I'm in the deal, I'm getting paid, but I'm not here to get rich off of you. I'm not here to, you're just going to pay me a bunch of money up front and then I'm going to leave you high and dry. It's like, I am, excuse my language, but no shit going to show you how to do this.
And hold your hand to it so that you know how to get started, because
and hold you accountable.
We want them to be successful too. I mean, it's been a blessing to us. So, you know, we definitely want to pay it forward. And if we can help somebody else to get to where we are, then that's good too.
Absolutely.
I love that. And I had another question that I was like so on the tip of my tongue. Oh, no, I wanted to tell you that with the List Engine, this brand new thing is coming out. I know. Just like, I'm jazzed on coffee. But I'm so excited because we're going to be having good. I'm in good company then.
Come on, quit ADD, girl. Put it out.
Sorry, squirrel. Okay, so we have a route planner coming out where the list that you make on our List Engine will actually, you can have it map and it'll take you like a GPS will say, turn right here. Your property will be on the right-hand side. And
so I'll be able to build a list for my drivers and say, here, go check out all of these properties.
So that's round 2, but I have a workaround for it. Yes. If you make them a partner, you can have them drive a list and it'll give them right way to go. And it'll tell them like this property's on the right-hand side and it'll highlight for them. And then it'll take them to the next property in the most efficient route.
Cool. I love it. Nice. Love it.
Yeah. I'm so pumped. I've been playing around with it and it's just so cool. And plus, it's such a minor thing, but it has 6 different voices you can use. And I love the Australian guy. It's just really great.
Oh, the Australian accent's got you, doesn't it?
Man, I love it.
Well, that's exciting to see that.
Let me get here. Okay, wait, George said something else. Try Redix for property owner phone numbers. No, you got to use DealMachine. What market are you guys in? You just said that you're in North Carolina. Are you staying in Central? Yes.
Mostly in the Piedmont area, but we do have somebody that, you know, is starting to look for us out at the coast. So you know,
I don't want to be too terribly specific about the market I'm in. You know what I mean? Because you know, people are starting to learn that we know what we're doing, and you know, then we find out like, you know, there's a couple of headhunters on our tail. So, but yeah, Central North Carolina works really well for us, and of course that's our bread and butter because that's where we got started. You know, Michelle knows a lot of people around here, and I've met a lot of people around here, so that helps a lot. Connecticut, Virginia, Florida, and Alabama as of right now.
Dang. And I gotta tell you, if you find anything near the Outer Banks, you let me know, because I love me the Outer Banks.
Yes, ma'am. It's funny, I got a phone call about a house out there, but I think it's a little out of our wheelhouse right now.
Yeah, well, that's the reason why I'd want to find a distressed property out there, is because it's definitely pretty penny out there.
Yeah, no doubt, no doubt.
George says thank you for the positive feedback. He needed that today. So glad.
Absolutely, Mrs. Walker. Absolutely.
Amy, do you prospect every day? What's your routine like as a full-time employee and then doing this?
All right, so that is actually a great question, but it's honestly it's a little bit hard to answer, Amy. So Michelle and I are still kind of learning to delegate, like whose job is what. So Michelle is recently taken over doing the follow-ups because I'm not great at those, and she has a very pretty phone voice. And traditionally, females have a better response rate on the phone with people than males do. Especially a big old alpha male like me, who's like, straight to the point, and she knows how to, to talk. She likes to talk. She enjoys it. So we do prospect every day. Well, our mailers are pretty much automatic. Thank God for that, because sitting down and writing letters is awful. Done it. It works. It's awful. So I don't have to do much there. We've got drivers that are working 5, 6, 7 days a week because they want to, because they enjoy it. And we went through a lot where we gave them a chance and it just didn't pan out. And then I try to make initial contact with those that we really feel are going to be good deals. But yeah, we're still kind of getting that dialed in, but it's all an evolution, but that is a great question. I hope I answered that to your liking, Miss Amy. I see here it looks like you're a realtor. So if that's the case, I mean, you know what it's like. When you quit prospecting, you die. That's it. You starve. So you gotta make a routine about that, and you gotta keep it going, and you gotta stick to that the best that you can. I have to be a little bit more malleable because when duty calls, and I don't have a choice in the matter. I got to do what I was sworn to do. And Michelle, being a realtor as you are, Miss Amy, when you get those phone calls at 7, 8 o'clock at night, when you want to be doing one thing, but you really need to help this person find a house, of course, that's what you do.
Yeah, no, I love that. And how you talked about how like some drivers fell off, and I know that's a real hardship for a lot of people is, finding drivers that are actually going to stick. Do you have them, I know a lot of yours are family, but do you have them hit a certain quota a week, or how do you keep track of who is falling off and who isn't?
All right. So what I try to get everybody to do is do a bare minimum of 200 a month, right? Because if everybody's doing 200 a month, that is really, really easy to get. You can do that in a day or two. And that feeds the machine enough where we can still make money. But any less than that, to me, is not necessarily a good thing, because then it's just kind of like you're wasting your time, basically, because we see about a 2% response rate, and about 75% of the people that we talk to end up actually selling us a house, or we get under contract. So our numbers are actually really, really good here, because in a lot of areas they're much worse than that, from what I understand. But I don't know if it's the way that we designed our cards, or because we're very personal in our mail outs, and we're very personable on the phone. But we tend to do really well. If I can sit down with somebody, I can show them how I can help them, and they trust us to do that. So we do pretty well in that arena. But anyway, back to drivers. So the ones that have just kind of fallen off, I mean, honestly, like I was a master MSF instructor, so motorcycle safety, firearms instructor, taught all kinds of things through the military. So I think I'm a pretty good coach. But some people just aren't receptive to coaching. Some people are okay with just having a job. Some people are okay with just being mediocre. And you cannot fix mediocrity. The person has to make that decision within themselves to change and to become the people that they want to be. And some people that don't want to do that, that's okay. That's completely acceptable. We all like McDonald's, but that's just not me. And I don't care to center myself with people that are okay with mediocrity.
Right. And they're a part of your team. So that's a big thing. Like you have to make sure they're in line with what you want to do.
Well, it's kind of like if you're looking for a rental, you don't want to just take the first renter that comes. You want the best one. So my drivers. I want the best drivers,
No, yeah, for sure.
All right.
Go.
Okay, cool. So Mo, I do too. So if you figure that out before me, you let me know. But it's kind of like this, man. Is if you set goals for yourself, then you can work your. I mean, look, man. It took us 4 months to make over $100,000. So what is that? We're averaging close to 30 grand a month right now. If that can't work you out of your job, then you need to balance your budget.
That's amazing. I'm sorry. Even just you breaking it down month per month, I'm just like, that is insane. I'm just blown away.
Yeah. I'm not ready to, get out of the military just yet, but that may come.
I mean, you're doing really well doing a full-time job plus this. That's also like you're in multiple markets too. So that's just it just all blows my mind. Y'all are like superheroes or something.
No, not at all. We seriously are just regular people. I mean, I appreciate that, Elise, but we think you're pretty super. We just all we did is just set goals for ourselves, and we went out and we got them, and we hold each other accountable, and we back. I got kiddos and everything running around.
You gotta do what you gotta do. We gotta get your house. You gotta get your house all set up.
Yeah, but there's nothing like super special about us. We're just regular people that just decided to make a change in our life, and we feel like massive action equals massive results. And so when we decided we were going to go all in, and that's what we did.
Y'all did, man. I was shook the first time when you made 32K in 2 months, and I was like, wow, these people they are just firing away.
And we keep watching because we're part of several different groups on Facebook. So Brian's like, golly, these people have only been doing it for a year and they're already at this level. And so we are constantly challenging ourselves to see how much better we can do. Okay, we achieved this goal, now we need to get here. And then, well, once we do that, we're setting like a 3 month, a 6 month, a 9 month, a 2 year goal so that we have something to continue to work towards. And I think that really helps us to keep pushing ourselves.
Yeah.
Oh, those quarterly goals I feel like are so important because they're obtainable. Like you're not just making that big goal, you're making those like little steps. I don't know what
Absolutely.
goal y'all had for 4 months, but you guys definitely blew it out of the water.
You're right. I'll tell you. So we said that by November we wanted to close 5 deals.
Mm-hmm.
That's what we said.
Yeah.
We did that in less than 3 months.
Mm-hmm.
And then we're like, wow, that was the point where we said that the 5 deals, that's when we knew we could start making the transition into running our own business.
Right.
So that's why we set 5, because if we could do it in that amount of time, then we knew that we could be self-sustainable. And if we made that decision, we could go ahead and get out of the rat race.
Right.
So that's why that 5 was very, very important to us. So we worked extremely diligently to get that done. And then once we did, we're like, well, what do we do now? And then we decided, well, let's try to do 20 by the end of the year.
Yeah.
And let's try to do, what was it, 25 in a year or whatever numbers
before our
picked.
first year anniversary.
Yeah, that's what it was. So
How many are we at right now?
probably 14 or 15, but one of those deals was actually 4 properties at once.
Oh
So
my
that was
gosh.
yeah, something like that. I think that's about where we're at. Yeah.
Well, and you said you
That's
had
not
some more in the pipeline right now, right?
Yeah.
right.
Yeah. So
you're
we're
gonna
just
totally hit that by the end of the month, I feel like.
yeah, and we had one recently, which we actually we didn't make much on it at all. But we couldn't. We got it under contract, and we found out there were some other issues with the house that the owner didn't tell us, and it was a little bit late in the process that we found it. But hey, it's part of it. They probably didn't know the house.
Yeah, I don't think they
been
knew
abandoned for
about
like
it.
5 years, but
Right.
when we
Could
found
you go on? Could you tell a little bit more about it, just so people can be aware of going?
Yeah, sure. So we bought a little 2-bedroom, 1-bath, and we had a couple of different exit strategies on it. One was to wholesale it. One was to fix it up and use it as a rental because it was a great little rental.
Perfect location.
And then we decided after our contractor got out there and we found out that there were some issues with the house that the numbers just weren't going to work. So we decided, okay, we need to get out of this. And we could have still sold it or wholesaled it for a $10,000 assignment fee. But what we decided to do, honestly, was just like be very honest and open. Like, hey, this is what's wrong with the house. You're going to have to fix this. There was a giant oak tree in the backyard that was breaking the foundation. We're like, it's going to cost you $3,000 to get rid of this tree. You've got to fix this. But as it turned out, the foundation was actually pretty good. It was just like a brick facade on the outside that the tree had cracked, and that was it. But anyway, I think our assignment fee was like $2,500 or $3,000 on that one. It was very minimal, but
we didn't have to back out of the deal.
Yeah, exactly.
And we helped the owner get rid of a burden because they were very burdened by this property. It was costing them in taxes. They were on fixed income, and they didn't have any use for it. And they had tried to sell it themselves without using a realtor, and doing the market analysis for the area. It wasn't going to benefit them to try to fix it. They didn't have the money to fix it to be able to sell it. And so it just worked out better for them to wholesale it to us. And we were able to, we gave them a realistic idea of how much it was going to cost to fix it based on what our contractor.
We showed them everything. We showed them exactly what our contractor said to put everything in, and showed them where that was going to fit in line with, a certain equity percentage after they got the house fixed, so that they could in turn go and finance it, because it was just a family that bought it and paid cash for it. So we did a double closing on that one. We didn't even assign it, just, because not everybody understands that. And we prefer to do assignments with people we know.
Yeah.
So we do a lot of double closings on our properties when we need to do it that way. But anyway, it worked out for them. So they're in the house now. They're rehabbing the house. This is one of those ones where the neighbor came out and it's like, thanks for what you guys do. And I can't tell you like how good that made us feel.
Yeah.
That people were happy that we were improving their neighborhood, because this is the kind of neighborhood used to be nice 20 years ago. You run through it now and you want to lock your doors and roll up your windows. But, I'm not extremely intimidated when, I'm standing outside of a house and 15 guys walk up to me, to ask what I'm doing in their neighborhood, especially when I can tell them like, hey, I'm trying to help you. And then they're like, oh, my cousin over here, and check this one out, and my cousin over here, and my auntie, and this and that and the other, and then now they know us and everybody trusts us, and now we can go in the neighborhood and everybody waves and says hi. And
that's another one. We bought 3 and sold 3 in that neighborhood. Yeah. So it's starting to improve everybody's property values in that area.
Yeah.
Anyways, we didn't make any money off of that one. I mean, not really. We made a little bit of money. It was
covered our marketing costs.
Yeah, covered a month's worth of marketing. That's a win.
Right.
That's a win. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah. No, that sounds great. I was about to say that to me, that would take a chunk out of my student loans. That's why I'm excited to wholesale, is because I'm like, yes, marketing costs, yes, student debt. So That'll help with that. And now are your and remind me, are your kids helping or doing, or like, are they following you? Are they interested at all in what you guys are doing?
Yeah, they we have given 2 of them, assigned them as drivers, or let them sign on as drivers. So we'll be driving down the road and they'll get their phones out. They're like, oh, there's a good one. Oh, there's a good one. And it's funny because we'll just
like,
be
no, I just added that one. That was mine.
But it's funny to sit in the front seat and they're in the back seat having a conversation, and they'll be looking at the house and asking each other, what do you think about this one? Do you think this one's a good one? Oh yeah, let's add that one. And it's funny because, you know, it's nice to know that they're interested, and it's exciting to see them get excited about it, you know, because we want them to take over this business one day from us. And that's what we want to do, is build a legacy for them.
And when your 13-year-old is talking about equity in a property, and you know, and how much he could invest in it to get a turnaround on investment, I mean, that you know, like, what 13-year-old kid talks about stuff like that, you know? And,
I mean, knock me off my seat. I would never. Heck, I was in college and I didn't even know what equity was. So like,
yeah,
13-year-old is doing it.
My dad was a career military, and then, you know, when he was a survivalist, like he taught me some things that people only dream of, but he taught me how to survive regardless of the situation that I ever got myself into. He did not know how to deal with money, so I didn't learn that from him. I had to learn that from mentors along the way. So in turn, we're doing pretty well for ourselves, and I want to teach all of our children how to build wealth, so that if they want to join the military, if they want to go be a pilot, a veterinarian, if they want to volunteer their services to travel around and help animals or homeless people or whatever, fine. But I want them to know how to create wealth so that they never have to worry about money, because being poor sucks. I've done it. It's awful.
It's not ideal. You do learn survival. That is the thing.
Amen.
Okay. Clinton says congrats and wish you many more success. He's a frequent watcher here.
Awesome.
Thank you so much, brother.
Thanks, Clinton.
Adam and some other people have asked too. I know you said some are commission based. How are you paying the rest?
Do you want to answer this one?
No, you go ahead.
All right. So there's about 3 ways to do this, Adam. And one of these I actually learned from Josh Johnson, because I think this is how he's doing it. So I'm going to name drop him for a second. So we pay ours either by the deal that they add, plus we'll give them a bonus if they add the house. Now, keep in mind, we have weekly phone calls with all of them to like tell them, hey, these are the good houses. These are the not so good ones. This is what I need you to focus on. Yes, it's okay to add trailer parks. Yes, it's okay to add storage facilities, whatever it is that you're into. We're trying out some new stuff now. So that's the first one, is you pay them per the ad, and then we give them a bonus if we close on the deal. You don't have to do that, but you can. Now that can get a little bit expensive. You got a really good driver, so just be aware of that. The other one is straight commission, and what we do is, I guess, Elise, is it all right to tell them like what the commissions that we pay our drivers?
Yeah, that's fine. I was actually going to ask you what your bonus was, if you were okay sharing that.
Yeah. So on the bonus on that, if it's under 10 grand, we'll give them like, it just kind of depends, right? So usually we'll give them somewhere between 500 to 1,000. As a bonus, you know what I mean? Just depending on how much the assignment fee is. Now, for our commission-based guys, anything that we close up to 10,000 is 5%. Between 10,000 to 19,999, we pay 8. Anything over 20%, or 20,000, we pay a full 10%. And then, you know, like one of the guys did so well on one of them, we ended up paying him $4,500 because we did so well on the assignment fee.
Oh my gosh, you're having drivers for life.
Well, that's the idea, right? So like, I don't mind giving them some monies, because if they're going to do the work, especially if they're in an area where I can't go, but they can go and take the pictures and do the footwork and do the running around for me, I don't mind giving them some more money. I don't mind splitting it with them, because they're putting in effort too. you know, and I want to make sure they're compensated for that effort. We want to make sure they're compensated for that effort. And then Adam, for the third way is you pay them by the hour. That is a really good way and a very efficient way to do it if you can afford those upfront fees. But let's just say you've got a driver and you pay them $10, $15 an hour, but they're adding 20, 25 deals an hour, 5 days a week or 2 days a week or however often you want to pay them. They're making some money. That's the kind of money that one would expect here in this part of the country. Working at a factory or a lot more than fast food probably. But relatively skilled labor is $15 to $20 an hour around here. $25 to $35 an hour if you've actually got some type of an education behind you, or a trade. So that's pretty fair, the $10 to $15 range. And then if they get really good at what they're doing, pay them a bonus or give them a little bit more money. But I like bonuses because to me it just means you're going to work harder.
I mean, I like that you guys do the bonus on every pay structure, because I agree. Go ahead. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, Michelle.
I was just going to say, you can kind of tell and learn your drivers because some are going to operate differently. For us, we've got one driver that if we were to pay them by the hour, not to say ill of them, but I don't think that they would use their time wisely because they would know, hey, I can take 5 hours, and if I add 20 deals, I'm doing good. Well, then we've just lost time.
Absolutely.
But if, so that kind of personality type, that kind of individual, we would do a, so many deals added or so many properties added, we'd give them so much money instead of by the hour, so you can kind of tweak it and customize it for each of your drivers based on, how well that they're going to actually apply themselves.
Yeah. And we kind of figure, $1 a deal that ain't bad. That doesn't cost a whole lot. If they're adding 100 a week, great. That's 100 deals you didn't have. They're in the pipeline now. You could pay for a list, but the nice thing about driving for dollars is you're building the only list that you can't buy.
Yeah.
Like you have to build it. You can't just buy it. So we don't mind. We don't mind paying the monies for that. We really don't, because to have somebody go drive in, let's say, a little town for 8 to 20 hours, they can go find all the cool little things, right? And that might not cost me very much money. But that same town that's got maybe 25, 30,000 people living in it, well, I might spend $5,000 to $7,000 on a mail out campaign if I just went out somewhere else and bought a list and built it and sent it to all of them. So in the long run, I kind of feel like we're saving money. Really.
Yeah. No, I agree. I mean, you're, like you said, you have a list that no one else is, so your marketing costs are probably going to be lower. And so being a driver on top of that, I would think that it would be a lot less than if you were to pay more money for a list. Okay. Do you use a different phone number on your mail outs?
So yes. We use a system that
our mentors
told us about, and basically you can create a phone number for each market that you're in. But I will also be honest, and I'll say I've been a little bit lazy with that because it's great if you're into crunching numbers where you can see where all of your phone calls are coming from. But the nice thing about the DealMachine CRM is I can see where all the deals are coming from anyway. So it got a little bit monotonous for me to say, okay, I need to send this campaign this area, this campaign to this area, this one to this one. Especially when my drivers were adding 1,000 properties a week now. So I'm curious. So that's a lot of hours on the computer. And keep in mind, I'm full-time not DealMachine as well.
And I'm doing my real estate.
We finally just said, you know what, we're just going to send them all. And that doesn't seem to be hurting anything. I will say that I have heard and been told that phone numbers to specific areas have a much higher response rate.
Because of all of the prank calls that we get, calls where your car warranty is expired or using, this hotel chain, we want to give you a free vacation package.
Yeah, so
that's the only benefit that we've seen really of having a local number to that area is it helps people to recognize, oh, okay, well, maybe this is legitimate,
Right.
so.
Yeah. Well, I need to step up my game there. 'Cause that's.
I mean, you are full time right now at another job. I mean, and just the magnitude of leads you have, and yes, the marketing is consistently going out, but like you're having to vet through them, have your weekly driver meetings. Like y'all, that's why I said y'all are superheroes, because this is just, it's a lot of time to do all of that. Omar says he has leads in South Carolina if you're interested. You guys can reach out to Michelle and Brian. Do you have Facebook or Instagram that they can follow you?
We got on Instagram, I think it's ABM Homes LLC. And then, on Facebook, it's Brian Austin, or Michelle Austin. You guys are welcome to message us. I'm starting to get a lot of messages now. So if it takes us a minute to get back to you, it's not us.
Remember, they are full time on top of doing this, and so
And running around.
And they have 4 children. Like, and they're having construction on their home. We give grace here, bunch of grace.
Yeah. But I think that's the right Instagram. Is the
ABM Homes
trying to look right now.
LLC.
Pretty sure it's ABM Homes, so Alpha Bravo Mike Homes LLC at Instagram.
That's it. Well, it's at ABM Homes LLC.
I'm kind of new to all this stuff.
That's okay. That's okay. I do want to have this one really quick, because are your contractors, are they 1099 then? I know it's in some states it's a specific amount that they're doing, but are you doing 1099, not making them like W-2 or anything?
Right.
No, 1099.
Yeah. Our attorney reference, the attorney that helps us with most of our properties, that's what he recommended. It saves us more headaches, and
it's easier to keep track of for the LLC too, because it's just
keeps
we
clean.
mail them a check, and then like that's all we have to do to like keep track of it.
Right.
That where the money goes and why.
Yeah.
And then we're covered and they're covered.
I love it. Well, I want to be very conscious of your time. I really appreciate you guys coming on, and it's so amazing to see you guys again. And we'll talk after this too. But I just want to say thank you again, and I'm so happy for you guys. Just what you're growing, and Brian, as always, I just have to say thank you for your service. And so, just thank you guys so much for everything. I'm so thankful you guys are part of our family.
Right on.
Well, we appreciate being a part of it too.
We are too. It's been a blessing for sure. So,
awesome.
We appreciate what you guys do as well.
Yes, thank you. Thank you for taking time for us too. When we have questions, it's nice to be able to text you, or reach out to you and
shoot
get
you
help.
a message on, or shoot one of the crew a message through DealMachine.
Yeah.
Everybody is like
super
so
nice.
on point with helping out. It's wonderful.
Oh, I love it. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye, guys. Happy trails.